Hello, team owners and fans of the old USFL and our new 6 years running now in our 7th year Premier 20-team USFL Fantasy Football League. Here we go with highlights, week 11. We've only got 2 weeks left, and we'll start with the best team in the league, the Spirit of Miami. They are our latest expansion team. They came on board. This is their first year. New owner, Matthew Farici. He has won a championship with the New Jersey Generals back in season 3. He's sitting at 9-2. Goes up against the Stars this past week. Takes down Michael Lanzalotti and Ken Dunnick's Stars, 29-15. You know, Matthew's done a really good job here putting together a good team, but he's had a soft schedule. But the last few games, he's really improved his team, working the waiver wire, doing a great job. The Stars, when the draft opened, Michael Lancelotti, I was like, dude, you really risk out there with picking up Gordon and Odell Beckham, and he had some stars, but they have been very disappointing this year. Disappointing to Michael, I'm sure. He'll come back next year. He's trying to fight to get in that second-tier playoff. Miami wins over the Stars. Next game, the Washington Federals and the Renegades. Renegades, new owner comes in to the Renegades. The team was very decimated, and Michael Rodriguez has done a great job. Picked up Aaron Jones in an off-season trade. He's really done a good job with the Renegades, but he falls short in this one. On Monday Night Football, he had 4 players to gain less than half a point collectively. That did him in against the Feds. My wife's team, Tina, shut down the Renegades, wins this one 31-18. Renegades are at 4-7, still not out of the lower tier playoffs. That is going to be news going forward. The Maulers and the Generals in this game. The Maulers are 3-8, but they've won 2 in a row now. They take down the Generals in a non-eventful, low-scoring game. But John Pahala wins. He's trying to come out of the cellar in the Atlantic Division. Moving on, I wanted to bring up one thing about this Maulers-Generals game. Now, you know, if we had the USFL today, and the Maulers have who they have on their team here with us, and the Generals have who they have, well, guess what? The Maulers, the Garrett is on the Generals, and the Maulers have Randolph. So the fight happened in real life and would have happened in the USFL if existed today. It's just coincidental that they're on the teams there who fought this past week. Let's move on to the Southern Division, the Boats and the Bandits. The Bandits have been on top of the league in the Southern Division all season long, but they lose it here, go a half game back. The Boats, champions in season 6, win 24-23 in a close one, go to 5-6, not mathematically out. They play the Bulls this coming week. Now the new divisional leader. Watch out for the Memphis Showboats. That's something to watch going forward. Boats win over the Bandits here in week 11. And then the Bulls and the Stallions, 25-24. Phil Wilfon's Bulls pull out a win, go to 7-4. Stallions go down to 6-5. The South is so interesting right now. 3 teams within a half a game of each other with 2 games left. This is something close to watch. Stallions fell short as Jared Goff just had a terrible Sunday night football game. And then Sammy Watkins had a so-so game, not that good of a game, on Monday Night Football. So the Stallions had to sit there, Henry Rido, and watch Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, the last 2 games in fantasy football for the week, and watch his 2 players pull up duds. All he had to do was score a few points. Didn't happen. Bulls win, and now are in first place in the Southern Division. Moving on to the Pacific Division, the Invaders and the Express. Invaders go to 8-3, Express 4-7. The game was pretty close, but Express just do not have the team that the Invaders have. The Invaders were the early pick after the draft to win it all, them and the Panthers. Invaders go to 8-3 with a 26-23 win over the Express. And the Wranglers are sitting at 4-6-1 now. The Wranglers have won the Pacific Division every single year in our first 6 seasons, and now it's in the 7th. They're not going to win it this year, guys. They are mathematically unable to do that, but they do take the Breakers down. Portland Breakers were on top early on in the Pacific. Not anymore. Looks like the Invaders are going to win this. The only team that can do something about that is the Breakers with 2 games left. And then the Gold go down, but they fight hard against the Michigan Panthers. Gold go down. They're now 5-6. Most improved, one of the most improved teams in our league. Michigan wins. And with that, Mark Niemi's team does go on top by a half game over the Outlaws, as the Outlaws lose to the Houston Gamblers this week. Scott Boucher and Paul Thompson's team against Keith Clark and Kyle Smith's team. Houston pulls off the big upset, 31-21. And finally, Chicago and Blitz and the Gunslingers. Gunslingers are just injury prone, have been all year. Had a real tough season. Both of these teams now go to 4-7, but Chicago does pull out the win. Let's take a quick look at the board up here. As I'm going to close out, we do not have the high tech here like Michael Rodriguez does, but there are your Atlantic Division and rankings and records in the Atlantic Division. As you can see there, the Feds do play the Spirit of Miami the final game of the season, and this coming week, all the Spirit has to do is win, and they will win the division outright. If they lose and the Feds win, it will come down to the final game of the week. I'd love it to be that way, not because I want to give my wife a chance here, but it'll just make things exciting for sure. Moving over here to the Pacific Division, as you can see, there are a lot of teams there with a ranking. This division is still pretty tight with the Breakers 2 games back of the Invaders. The Gold are out of it. Wranglers there fell this year. Tough division. It looks like the Invaders are going to take that division there. And maybe the Breakers will get in the top tier playoffs. We do have a 2-tier playoff system. 1 through 8 plays in top tier. 9 through 16 plays in the second tier. So everybody makes the playoffs except the bottom 4 teams. We're moving down here to the tough Central Division. Panthers ranked 3 there, 7-3-1. Outlaws right behind them. Anything goes here, guys. The Gamblers, Gunslingers, and Blitz tail that up. And then finally here in the South, the most interesting division as we go into these closing games, as you can see, 7-4, 6-4-1, 6-5, and the Boats 5-6, mathematically not out. Guys, stay tuned. Join our fantasy fan page. We're doing good things in the USFL Premiere Fantasy Football League, 20-team league. Have a great week.